Zendaya's feet smell like Funyuns. Let's check, shall we? No, smells like success to me.
So celebrities often handle the weirdest questions and comments thrown at them with humor, turning awkward moments into pure entertainment for the audience. Today, we're counting down the top 10 moments where celebrities hilariously responded to bizarre questions from interviewers. So, without any further delay, let's dive right in. Snoop Dogg. Starting off with one of our well-known faces, Snoop Dogg. We all know how funny Snoop Dogg is in both real and real life. In a memorable segment on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Snoop Dogg was asked a question that many of us can relate to. How do you remember your passwords? Now, this is a common dilemma in our digital age, where we juggle countless accounts and complex passwords. But leave it to Snoop to take a simple question and turn it into a comedic goldmine. With his signature laid-back demeanor and that unmistakable smooth voice, Snoop leaned back in his chair, flashed a cheeky grin, and replied, "Oh, wow. That's a great question, Jimmy. I'd have to say telekinesis." The audience erupted in laughter, not just at the absurdity of the answer, but also at the way he delivered it, like he was sharing an insider secret that only he could pull off.
We know what your favorite hobby is. How do you remember all your passwords?
Oh, wow. That's a great question, Jimmy. I'd have to say telekinesis.
Telekinesis?
Yes.
You're able to move things around?
No, I tell a few of my nieces to put it in their phone and they remember it for me.
What do you want for your birthday?
Kimmel, clearly amused, pressed him further, asking if he could actually move things around with telekinesis. Snoop, ever the master of wit, responded with a twinkle in his eye, "Nah, I tell a few of my nieces." This line not only cracked up the audience, but also painted a picture of Snoop as a family man who relies on his loved ones for help with something as mundane as passwords. It's relatable. Who hasn't turned to family or friends for help with tech troubles? His ability to weave humor into everyday situations is part of what makes him so beloved by fans around the world. 2. Tom Hardy being asked about sexuality. At the 2015
celebrities to talk to media about their sexuality.
What on earth are you on about?
I was referring to an interview given to Attitude Magazine a few years ago.
But what is your question?
I was wondering if you find it difficult for celebrities to talk about their sexuality.
I don't find it difficult for celebrities to talk about their sexuality. Are you asking me about my sexuality?
Sure.
Why?
Why?
Thank you.
Okay.
Toronto International Film Festival, Tom Hardy delivered one of the most iconic "I don't have time for this" moments when a reporter from an LGBTQ publication decided to ask about his sexuality while promoting Legend. The question came from a previous interview where Hardy mentioned experimenting with men. Clearly caught off guard, Hardy looked at the reporter like he had just asked him to explain quantum physics and replied, "What on earth are you on about?" The reporter, probably regretting his life choices at that point, tried to clarify. Hardy, not missing a beat, shot back, "Are you asking me about my sexuality?" followed by a perfectly deadpan "Why?" It was the ultimate mind your business moment, and Hardy's frustration with the overly personal question couldn't have been more obvious. The awkward tension? Priceless. 3. Elon Musk calling BBC spreading fake news. Next, we have Elon Musk. In a recent interview, Elon Musk confronted a BBC reporter over what he described as fake news, directly addressing the media's portrayal of his actions and statements. The exchange began when the reporter questioned Musk about various controversies surrounding him, including his leadership style and public comments.
Freedom of speech over misinformation and hate speech.
Well, you know, who's to say that something is misinformation? Who's the arbiter of that? Is it the BBC?
And you're literally asking me?
Yes.
Well, no,
Who is the arbiter?
You are the arbiter on Twitter, because you own Twitter.
Yes, I'm saying, who is to say that one person's misinformation is another person's information? The point at which you said that there is, this is misinformation, like, who is going to decide that?
You accept that misinformation can be dangerous, that it can cause real-world harms, that it can potentially cause...
Yeah, so the point I'm trying to make is the BBC itself has, at times, published things that are false. Do you agree that that has occurred?
I'm quite sure the BBC have...
Musk, known for his candidness and sometimes confrontational demeanor, didn't shy away from expressing his frustration. He challenged the reporter on specific claims made by the BBC, insisting that their coverage often misrepresents his views. With a mix of seriousness and exasperation, he stated, "You can't just say whatever you want," emphasizing the importance of accountability in journalism. This moment was significant not just for Musk, but also for viewers who witnessed a high-profile figure standing up against perceived media bias. It humanized Musk, showing that beneath his public persona lies a desire for transparency and fairness. His willingness to engage in this dialogue reflects a broader issue: the relationship between public figures and the media, where narratives can shape public perception significantly. The interactions sparked discussions online, with many applauding Musk for his assertiveness, while others debated the legitimacy of his claims. 4. Boris Johnson on his personal life. The next moment is even more hilarious, involving former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson being asked about his personal life rather than his political views. At a conference in Birmingham, Johnson found himself in the hot seat as he faced probing questions about a police visit to his girlfriend's home. The UK Prime Minister responded with a negative answer, as the host pressed Johnson for more details.
Generous introduction, and thank you everybody for coming on to these first and most important hustings that we're going to be having. I don't know, it's not the most important, be careful what I say, they'll all be important, but these are the first. Ian, listen, I think what people have come here today, seductive interviewer, there you are. I think people have, I don't think they want to hear about that kind of thing, unless I'm wrong. I think, forgive me.
It became clear that he was not interested in discussing the specifics. Johnson diverted the questions, suggesting that the audience was more interested in his vision for the country than in his personal life. What they want to hear is what my plans are for the country and our party.
I think, forgive me, I think what they want to hear is what my plans are for the country and for our party.
As you can see, he was trying to steer the conversation away from the uncomfortable topic. However, the audience wasn't easily satisfied. The interviewer pushed back, arguing that these issues were indeed relevant for someone seeking to lead the country. Johnson, maintaining his composure, responded technically and avoided addressing the main point. Noticing this, the interviewer responded. Irritated, Johnson replied, "Does a person's private life have any bearing on their ability to do the job as Prime Minister?"
People are entitled to ask about me and my determination, my character, and what I want to do for the country. And let me just tell you that when I make a promise in politics about what I'm going to do, I keep that promise, and I deliver. And sometimes I must confess that when I was mayor in London, I even delivered some of the promises that people thought were most eccentric.
This incident clearly demonstrated Johnson's reluctance to answer a question he felt was an attack. 5. Matthew McConaughey's interview. Sometimes celebrities have to put rude interviewers in their place, like when Matthew McConaughey had a tense exchange with Joy Behar after she interrupted him just to insult his close friend, tennis champion Novak Djokovic. McConaughey, who had been enjoying his time at a match sitting behind Djokovic's parents, was caught off guard by the comment, but kept his cool. Things escalated when Behar brought up McConaughey's potential political ambitions, asking a pointed question about gun control that nearly derailed his campaign before it even started. "Do you think you can get elected in Texas being anti-gun?" she asked. McConaughey, clearly frustrated but calm, hilariously responded with this.
This being anti-gun?
Do I think I could get elected in Texas being anti-gun? One thing about if me in politics is to give you a direct statement right there is be playing a game that I'm not interested in playing.
Okay.
To give you a direct statement right there.
Yeah, you heard it right. His savage response literally destroyed the interviewer at that time. 6. Taylor Swift when asked to show her legs. In a recent interview, Taylor Swift received compliments from the host about how beautiful she looked. However, the conversation took an unexpected turn when the interviewer asked her to show her legs and mentioned that she would be walking with several men that night. Taylor, always quick with her wit, responded with a playful tone, saying, "This."
I'm gonna go hang out with my friends, and then I go home to the cats.
No men allowed.
Men get me in
Joked that letting men into her life might get her into trouble. Her lighthearted reaction not only showcased her sense of humor, but also highlighted the sometimes awkward dynamics celebrities navigate during interviews. It's a reminder that even in the spotlight, they have to manage personal boundaries while keeping things entertaining. 7. Sean Strickland on woke culture. Next up, we have Sean Strickland. In a recent interview, UFC champion Sean Strickland shared his strong opinions on woke culture, sparking considerable debate among fans and commentators. At the interview, he was asked about the woke culture, and it almost made him furious. He even asked the journalists if he is gay.
You become a champion, you become a star, and someone says,
let me ask you something. Are you gay?
Have you had the chance to interact with a more diverse
Are you?
crowd of-
Let me know. Are you gay?
Can I get an answer?
Well, no, I'm asking. This is a part of. Are you a gay man?
I'm an ally of the community.
Okay. If you had a son, then
And hilariously, he eventually called him an infection.
until fucking illness, and now all of a sudden, people like you have fucking weaseled your way into the world. You are an infection.
His remarks have drawn mixed reactions. Some fans support his responses, while others feel he dismisses important concerns raised by marginalized communities. This divide highlights the ongoing conversation about balancing social responsibility with the right to free speech. Strickland's controversial stance has made him a polarizing figure, resonating with some while drawing criticism from others. It's a reflection of the complexities surrounding woke culture today. 8. Piers Morgan versus James Barr. In a lively and engaging debate, Piers Morgan and comedian James Barr delved into the sensitive topic of identity and the assumptions people often make about sexuality. In some points, the conversation got heated when Morgan emphasized the over-impeachment of LGBTQ community, and it somehow made James Barr angry.
It's everywhere you go. It's pride, 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 pride. Do we need to be that
What,
exuberant about it?
Are you blaming gay people for that? I mean,
No!
I thought the company.
Honestly, I don't care what sexuality anybody is. I don't think most people do anymore.
Right, so what is the problem then? Why are you so triggered by a flag?
I'll tell
It's
you
a
what
rainbow
problem.
flag.
I'll
You
tell
mentioned Regent Street.
I'm not triggered by a rainbow flag. I'm triggered by the fact that everywhere I go for a calendar month, everything has to be a rainbow flag.
Well, I'm triggered that everywhere I go for the entire year, everything has to be straight. Why is straight
Where's
everywhere?
my straight flag?
Why am I constantly
Where
getting
is
straight
my
people?
straight
Why
flag?
are straight people holding hands in the
When
street?
have you ever seen a straight flag?
Why has Mickey Mouse got...
To add a touch of humor to the moment, Morgan quipped about needing a straight flag, which not only lightened the mood but also made a powerful point about the absurdity of labeling individuals based on assumptions. But James Barr replied in a funny way, stating Morgan himself is a straight flag.
Straight identity.
Where's the
onto
straight
me.
flag?
Everywhere.
Where's my straight flag?
It's everywhere.
It's never been
Piers.
a straight flag.
You're a straight flag.
Let me bring Tommy back, because this made me laugh. Demi Lovato.
His comment emphasized that everyone should have the freedom to define their own identity without being boxed in by others' perceptions. This exchange is a reflection of the ongoing conversations in society about sexuality and identity. It reminds us that while discussions can be spirited, they should always be approached with respect and sensitivity. 9. Kamala Harris's hilarious response on Ukraine-Russia war. In an interview, Kamala was asked about the Ukraine-Russia war and its potential impact on Americans, a question that was clearly meant to probe her views on the serious political and humanitarian implications of the conflict. However, her response took an unexpected turn. Instead of delving into the political stakes, the human suffering, or the strategic challenges posed by the war, Harris chose to focus on the geographical size of Ukraine and Russia. She mentioned their vast land masses as if this were a crucial point for understanding the situation.
Country in Europe, it exists next to another country called Russia. We campaign with the plan.
Her response caught many viewers off guard. Given the gravity of the topic, most people expected a more pointed discussion about how the war could affect global stability, U.S. foreign policy, or even the economic implications for ordinary Americans. Instead, Harris's emphasis on the physical dimensions of the countries involved seemed oddly out of place. It was as if she were giving a geography lesson rather than addressing a deeply complex and ongoing international crisis. To some, her focus on geography seemed almost like a deflection or a misunderstanding of the question. They wondered why she chose to highlight that particular detail when there were so many other pressing aspects to consider. The response felt disconnected from the realities of the conflict and the concerns that many people had about its broader implications. Others viewed it as a missed opportunity to provide a more substantial and reassuring perspective on such a serious issue. By honing in on the size of the countries involved, Harris seemed to sidestep the deeper, more consequential issues at hand, like the potential for escalation, the impact on global alliances, or the humanitarian crises unfolding on the ground. The moment left many viewers scratching their heads, puzzled by her choice of focus. It was one of those times when a leader's words seemed to fall short of the gravity of the moment, leaving people wondering what her true understanding of the conflict was and how it might influence her approach to foreign policy. Yet in her own way, Harris might have been trying to find a simple, relatable entry point into a complicated issue. Perhaps she intended to highlight the sheer scale of the conflict to underscore its significance, but the delivery ultimately missed the mark. 10. Hillary Clinton on infamous Benghazi attack. Next is another example of a great diplomatic politician, Hillary Clinton. In 2015, when she was asked about the infamous Benghazi attack, Clinton immediately diverted her response. She was talking about her dedication to diplomatic security rather than answering the specific question asked to her. Also, she was laughing while answering this serious question.
Do you have any in-person briefings? I don't find it funny at all.
I'm sorry, a little note of levity at 7:15.
Well, I mean...
She was even criticized by the people for laughing at this serious moment. Even the reporter was disturbed at this.
Well, yes, the whole night.
Well, I don't know why that's funny. I mean, did you have any in-person briefings? I don't find it funny at all.
So that's all for today. These are the moments when famous celebrities gave hilarious answers to questions thrown to them. These responses were not only hilarious, but also entertaining to the audience. So what's your thoughts on these moments? Which one of them excites you the most and why? Let us know in the comment below. Also, if you enjoyed our content, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more entertaining videos like that. Thank you for watching. Stay connected.